All right, man. Goku and Teen Titans episode 8, man. Season finale. The Teens Titanic. So let's get into it. I could have made this episode 2 parts, but I'm ready to end this saga right now. So I hope you guys enjoy the finale. And if you do, like and subscribe so I can get that 1,000 subscriber milestone out the way. Anyways, let's get to it. The debriefing room was tense as Batman's hologram loomed over the Titans, his cold gaze sweeping across each of them. This evaluation is non-negotiable, he stated. Goku's leadership has been reckless since he got here. His impulsiveness and blind trust has led to criminals getting broken out to wreak more havoc on cities. I need to know, can he even truly lead this team? Cyborg was the first to speak, his voice firm. You're wrong, Batman. Goku's not reckless. There is a method to his madness, because we have the highest mission success rate out of all the Titan factions, according to the numbers. Every villain we've taken down, his leadership was crucial. Beast Boy crossed his arms, nodding his head. Yeah, dude saved our butts more times than I can count. So what if he doesn't plan every move out like Robin does? His instincts are insane, man. Raven, usually the most reserved, added quietly. He's the reason we're a team, not just a group of heroes. He works with all of our individual personalities to optimize our performances. Starfire, though absent, had left a message. Her holographic image flickered to life, her voice unwavering. Goku is not merely our leader, he is our heart, the heart of the team. Without him, we would not be the same Titans. Robin, who had been silent until now, finally stepped forward. Batman's eyes locked onto him, expecting agreement. But instead, Robin's jaw set. Yeah, you're wrong about him. Goku is essential. He's the strongest of us, not just in power, but in spirit. He's excellent at keeping morale. Batman's expression remained unreadable, but after a long pause, he dismissed them, and the hologram flickered out. The evaluation was over. As the room exhaled, Cyborg smirked. Well, that actually went better than I expected. Robin allowed himself a small smile. Yeah, it did. Then the Titans stood united, and when Goku would return, they'd be waiting, ready to fight alongside him, just as he always had for them. And nothing could break up their group, right? The moment the others left, Batman's hologram flickered back to life, his voice low. Robin, stay. Robin hesitated, then turned, arms crossed. What now? Batman's tone was grave. I got your message from earlier. You're making a mistake, telling Goku about the surveillance. Trust can be a liability in our line of work. Robin shook his head. No secrets are what breaks teams apart. I won't lie to him anymore. Batman studied him for a long moment. Then, to Robin's surprise, he gave him a slow nod. Fine. But before you do, there's something you need to see. The back computer feed shifted, displaying grainy but unmistakable footage. Goku, younger, drenched in rain, gripping Aquaman's trident. King Piccolo lay before him, impaled through the chest, his lifeless body collapsing into the mud of the street. Goku's face was eerily calm. Barely any remorse and definitely no hesitation. Robin's breath caught. This was self-defense. Piccolo was a monster that was going to destroy a city and take over the world. Was it? Batman's voice was ice. Piccolo was beaten. Disarmed. Goku didn't just win, he executed him. Robin clenched his fist. You don't know what Piccolo was capable of, even in that sound trap. Maybe Goku saw something that you didn't. I know what killers are capable of, Robin, Batman cut in. And I know the moment they cross that line, they'll justify it. Every single time. He leaned closer, the hologram's glow casting shadows across Robin's face. You think Goku's different because he smiles, because he jokes. But he is dangerous, a wild card. He doesn't see the line of the hero like we do. And one day when another monster stands in his way, he'll kill again. And he'll tell himself that it was right. Robin stood rigid, the weight of the footage pressing down on him. Batman wasn't just warning him, it was like he was preparing him, as if there would come a time that history would repeat itself yet again. Tell him the truth if you must, Batman said, turning away. But don't say I didn't warn you. When that day comes, he looks you in the eye and chooses violence over mercy. The hologram vanished, leaving Robin alone in the dark. For the first time, doubt once again began to creep in. or I should say for the second time, would Goku really cross that line again? Or worse, had he never left it behind to begin with? The Tamaranian shuttle hummed softly as it descended onto the tower's landing pad, its engines kicking up a light breeze. Inside, Starfire unbuckled her harness and turned to Goku, her emerald eyes glowing with gratitude. Goku, she began, her voice softer than usual. I wish to thank you again for everything. You did not have to come, yet you fought for my home as if it were your own. Goku stretched his arms with a grin. Hey, what are friends for? Besides, Earth put me on the bench anyways. Starfire smiled, but there was a weight behind it. Still, you risked much. Your life, your standing with the League, you even teamed up with your own brother who tried to kill you last time we saw him. Goku shrugged. Yeah, Radix doesn't seem so bad anymore, and I never really cared about the League's view of me. He leaned back in his seat, hands behind his head. The real point is you needed help, so I helped. Simple as that. Starfire's expression softened. On any world, such loyalty is rare and precious. She hesitated, then added, You are a better friend than I deserve. Goku laughed it off. Nah, don't go getting all mushy on me now. Besides, you do the same for me, right? Without hesitation, Starfire said immediately. And that's all that matters, Goku said, standing as the ship ramp lowered. Now come on, let's go see the others before Beast Boy eats all the pizza again. As they stepped out into the sunlight, Starfire felt something warm settle in her chest. Not just gratitude, but certainty. No matter what battles lay ahead, she knew one thing. Goku would always have her back, and she would always have his. The moment Goku and Starfire stepped off the ship, they were met with cheers. Beast Boy, already in the form of a hyperactive green puppy, bounded toward them before changing back and saying, You guys are already back. Did you fight any space monsters? Were there evil alien clones? Tell me everything. Cyborg clapped Goku on the shoulder. Yeah, don't leave out the good parts. Especially the part where you two somehow made Radix play hero for once. Starfire laughed, her exhaustion fading under the warmth of her friend's excitement. Oh, it is quite the tale. There was a great battle, a monstrous tree, and... Hold that thought, Robin interrupted, his voice calm but firm, his masked gaze locked onto Goku. We need to talk. Privately. Goku blinked. Sure. He shot Starfire a questioning look, but she just smiled reassuringly before being swept up in Beast Boy's demands for more details about the evil fruit. As the others headed inside, already debating whether alien fruit counted as a superfood, Robin led Goku to the tower's observation deck. The city stretched out before them, bathed in twilight. Goku leaned against the railing. So, what's up? You look kind of serious. I mean, you always look serious, but more than usual. Robin exhaled, removing his mask. A rare gesture. His expression was unreadable, but his voice carried a weight that Goku had not seen before. It's about something I need to come clean about. Goku tilted his head. Okay. Robin met his eyes. I've been spying on you for Batman. A beat of silence. Goku's grin didn't waver, but his eyes, for the first time since his return, his eyes changed slightly since his arrival back. The night air was cool against their skin as Robin's confession hung between them. He expected anger, betrayal, at the very least, questions. Instead, Goku just smiled, a small knowing thing, and scratched the back of his head. Yeah, I kind of figured. Robin stiffened. What? I could sense you, Goku admitted, leaning against the railing. Late at night, when you'd sneak off to meet Batman, your energy's pretty distinct to me, you know. He chuckled. Plus, you're not as stealthy as you think you might be. Robin stared. You knew? This whole time? Mm-hmm. And you never said anything? Nope. Robin's fist clenched. Why? Goku simply shrugged, looking out over the city. I figured you'd tell me when you were ready. Not really my business what you and Batman have going on. Robin's breath caught. That was it? No fury, no accusations, just acceptance? You don't care that I lied to you. Goku turned, his dark eyes reflecting the tower's mean glow. Robin, I've had people try to kill me since I left my family farm as a child. A little spying? Eh. His grin returned, wider this time. Besides, you're telling me now. That counts for something, right? Robin couldn't help it. He laughed, sharp and disbelieving. You're impossible, you know that? So I've been told. A beat of silence, then quieter. So you really don't hold it against me. Goku's smile softened. Nah, you're my friend. Friends make mistakes. Doesn't mean that they stop being friends. Robin exhaled, the tension draining from his shoulders. For the first time in months, he felt lighter. Thanks, he muttered. For what? Goku said, nudging him with an elbow. Now come on. I bet Cyborg's halfway through the story already. And I know he's getting the details told to him wrong, probably. As they walked back inside, Robin realized something. Goku did forgive too easy. Months had passed since Goku and Starfire's return, and life for the Titans had settled into a familiar rhythm. Missions were handled with precision, villains were thwarted, and the team's reputation had soared high, so high that whispers of the Justice League membership had begun to circulate for the team. Goku, reinstated as leader, took it all in stride, grinning through briefings and punching through problems with his usual enthusiasm. But while the team thrived together openly, Beast Boy had been carrying a secret. On quiet evenings, when the others were training or patrolling, he'd slip away to a secluded spot in Jump City, a hidden cliffside overlooking the ocean where Terra would be waiting. At first, their meetings had been cautious, tense. She'd apologize, he'd hesitate, but over time, the guarded conversations turned to laughter, and the distance between them shrank. Tonight, the sunset painted the sky in oranges and purples as Beast Boy landed in his falcon form, shifting back to human as his feet touched the grass. Terra was already there, her back to him, as she tossed pebbles into the waves below. Hey, he said, shoving his hands in his pockets. She turned, and for the first time in weeks, she smiled back openly. Took you long enough. Hey, Raven was doing her whole mystic meditation thing. You try sneaking past that. With her senses. Terra rolled her eyes but didn't argue. Instead, she patted the spot beside her. Sit. I brought snacks. Beast Boy plopped down, grinning as she pulled out a bag of his favorite chips. Okay, now I know you're trying to butter me up. Maybe, she smirked, but then her expression softened. Or maybe I just like this. Hanging out. Without the lies. Beast Boy's teasing faded. He studied her. The way the fading light caught in her eyes, the way her fingers fidgeted just lightly when she was nervous. Yeah, he said quietly. Me too. And for a moment, with the ocean breeze between them and the city lights flickering to life in the distance, it almost felt like things could be okay again. Almost. Because neither of them mentioned the unspoken truth. Eventually they'd have to tell the team. And neither knew how Goku would react when they did. Beast Boy leaned back on his hands, staring up at the glinting night sky. You know, once the Titans make it into the league, I'm going to put in a good word for you. Terra stiffened beside him. What? Yeah, he continued, grinning. You've got serious skills, and yeah, you messed up before, but so what? Everyone deserves a second chance. Might as well be with the Justice League, right? Terra was silent for a long moment when she finally spoke. Her voice was barely above a whisper. You do that after everything? Beast Boy nudged her with his elbow. Duh. That's what friends are for. She looked away, but not before he caught the way her eyes shimmered under the starlight. Their moment, however, was shattered by a cheerful voice from above. Sounds like a great idea to me. Gah! Beast Boy yelped, nearly falling backward as he and Terra whipped around to see Goku floating above them, upside down, grinning like an idiot. Terra's face paled. Goku? Hey guys, he said, levitating himself in midair. Nice night for stargazing, huh? Beast Boy clutched his chest. Dude, warn a guy next time. Goku just laughed. Wait, how did you even find us? Beast Boy demanded. Goku blinked. Key sensing? Did you forget? He tapped his temple. I've known about your little hangouts for weeks. Just figured I'd finally say hi. Beast Boy groaned, dragging a hand down to his face. Right, energy senses. How could I forget about that? Terra, still tense, eyed Goku warily. So, what now? Goku shrugged. Now we talk. Unless you want to run away again, he joked. After a surprising casual chat, mostly Goku rambling about Tamaran's food, he stretched up and floated up. Alright, I'm headed back, Terra. You're welcome to come with. She hesitated. I don't think I'm ready yet. Goku nodded. No rush, because the door's always open. And with the final wave, he shot into the sky. Beast Boy exhaled. Well, that could have gone worse. Terra watched Goku disappear into the night, a tiny spark of hope flickering in her chest. Maybe, just maybe, second chances were possible. But the moment Goku's blue aura vanished into the night, the air itself seemed to grow heavier as a familiar cold voice cut through the silence like a blade. I'm disappointed in you, Terra. Terra's blood turned to ice. Slowly, she and Beast Boy turned, and there, standing in the shadows of the cliffside, was none other than Slade Wilson. His armor gleamed under the moonlight, his single eye burning with quiet fury. I can't believe you chose a green zoo animal, he continued, stepping forward, over the man who taught you everything you know. Beast Boy immediately stepped forward, positioning himself between Terra and Slade. Back off, creep. She's done with you. Slade didn't even glance at him. His gaze remained locked on Terra, who stood frozen, her fists trembling at her sides. Did you really think it would be that easy, Slade mused, that you could just walk away from me after everything I've gave you? Terra swallowed hard, but this time her voice didn't shake. You didn't give me anything. You just used me. Slade tilted his head. No, we used each other, my dear. You needed a purpose, and I needed a weapon. But now I am the weapon, with a new purpose. He flexed his gauntlet-clad hand, the metal whirring ominously. While you're still the same lost little girl clinging to the first freak who showed you kindness. Beast Boy growled. Terra, we gotta go now. But before they could move, Slade's arm cannon hummed to life, its targeting laser painting a red dot between Beast Boy's eyes. You can run if you want, Slade said softly, but we both know how this ends. Terra's breath hitched, because deep down, she did know, and that terrified her more than anything. Slade lowered his wrist cannon with a mocking amusement. Go ahead. Take your best shot. Beast Boy didn't hesitate. He shifted into a massive silverback gorilla with green fur and skin, and charged with a roar. Fists raised to crush Slade where he stood. Terra braced herself, ready to disrupt the ground beneath Slade the moment Beast Boy engaged. But Slade didn't even dodge. He simply raised a single hand and caught Beast Boy's crushing punch mid-swing. The impact should have shattered stone. Instead, Slade's arms didn't even tremble. Terra's breath caught. What? Beast Boy's gorilla eyes widened in disbelief as Slade held his massive fist effortlessly. The mercenary didn't strain. He didn't even stagger. He just stood there, gripping Beast Boy's knuckles like he was holding back a child. Surprised? Slade mused. Terra reacted instantly, stomping the earth to destabilize the ground beneath Slade. But before the tremors could reach him, Slade's boot simply left the ground. He was hovering. Beast Boy dangled from Slade's grip, his transformation flickering in shock. As you can see, Slade said calmly, still levitating midair, with Beast Boy trapped in his grasp, I've received upgrades in my absence. His exposed eye glowed faintly with cybernetic enhancement. Strength, flight, sensory, overload, dampeners. Terra's fist shook. Who did this to you? Slade smirked. A visionary. One who understands that the future belongs to those who choose to evolve. Then his grip tightened around Beast Boy's throat. Beast Boy gasped, his gorilla form shrinking back to human as Slade's fingers dug into his windpipe as he faded in and out of consciousness. His claws scraped desperately at Slade's armor until one lucky swipe knocked the mercenary's mask clean off. Slade's face was older than they remembered, weathered, with some scarring, but undeniably human beneath the machine. You know, Slade mused, unfazed by the reveal, I would love to snap your neck right now. His grip tightened further. But fortunately for you, My engineer wants you alive, just like the others. Before Beast Boy could react, Slade's wrist injector hissed. A tranquilizer dart punched into his neck, and his vision blurred to blackness. The last thing he saw was Terra screaming his name before darkness swallowed him whole. Goku touched down on the Titan's tower balcony just as Batman's grim face filled the main monitor. The moment he stepped inside, the Dark Knight's piercing gaze locked onto him. "You're just in time," Batman said, his voice clipped. "Where's Beast Boy?" Goku rubbed the back of his neck, keeping his tone casual. He's going to be running late. He had some stuff to take care of. He didn't mention Terra to the group just yet. Batman studied him for a beat before continuing, then listened carefully. Over the past 72 hours, multiple metahumans and aliens have vanished without a trace. High-profile targets. Cyborg's optics flickered as he pulled up holographic case files. No distress signals, no ransom demands, just poof, gone. Starfire's hands flew to her mouth. "This is most troubling. Could it be the work of that fearsome five, or perhaps..." "No," Batman interrupted. "This seems organized, precise. Whoever's behind it has resources, a plan, and great stealth expertise." Robin crossed his arms. "Any leads?" "One." Batman's image shifted to security footage of a shadowy figure with a glowing red optic. Vaguely humanoid, but moving with unnatural precision. This was captured near Killer Croc's last known location. Enhanced strength, tactical awareness, and possible teleportation capabilities. Raven's eyes narrowed. "That's not a regular person. That must be a machine." Goku frowned, his instincts prickling. Something about this figure felt familiar with his movements. Batman's voice grew darker. "Until we know more, consider every unknown metahuman a potential abductor or victim. The Justice League is mobilizing, but the Titans need to be on high alert. No solo missions, no split-ups, and no unnecessary risk." Cyborg whistled. "Man, first Goku gets mind-controlled, now this? What's next? An alien invasion?" A beat of silence. Starfire raised her hand. "Should I be concerned about that possibility?" Before Batman could respond, Goku's communicator buzzed. A frantic static field transmission. "Goku, it's Slade. He's..." Terra's voice cut in and out. "Beast Boy, he took..." The line died. Every head in the room snapped forward, toward Goku. His fist clenched. "Yeah, change of plans," he said, his voice dangerously calm. "We're not waiting for the kidnapper to come to us." Goku led the Titans in a blazing streak across the night sky, touching at the cliffside where he'd last seen Terra and Beast Boy. The moment they landed, Terra rushed toward them, her face pale with panic. "Slade, he's not human anymore," she gasped, her hands trembling. "He overpowered us like we were nothing. Beast Boy tried to fight him, but..." Her voice trembled. Her voice trembled and cracked. "He took him." Cyborg Systems whirred as he scanned the area. No blood from a struggle, no energy traces. Dude made the scene totally clean. Goku's jaw tightened. He'd been reaching out with his senses the whole flight, searching for Beast Boy's familiar key, but there was nothing, just empty static. "He's blocking his energy signature somehow," he muttered. Robin's fist clenched. "How is that even possible?" "I don't know, tech, magic, doesn't matter," Goku said, his usual carefree tone gone. "Terra, which way did he go?" She pointed toward the glowing skyline of Jump City. "He flew that way, but I lost him in the city lights." Raven's cloak billowed as she stepped forward. "If Slade's operating at Jump City, he's either arrogant or he wants us to find him." Goku cracked his knuckles, his eyes sharp with focus. "Then we shouldn't keep him waiting." The Titans exchanged grim nods. The hunt was about to be on. Goku crossed his arms, his usual easygoing demeanor replaced by unshakable resolve. "We split up. Cover more ground that way. Cyborg and Raven take the industrial district. Robin and Starfire check the docks. Terra and I will sweep downtown." Robin immediately stepped forward, his voice firm. "No." Batman's orders were clear. No splitting up. Not with the kidnapper. This dangerous, targeting metahumans and aliens. If we separate, we're making ourselves targets. Goku met his gaze unwavered. "And if we stick together, we lose even more time. Beast Boy could be..." He cut himself off, jaw tightening. "We don't know how long Slade keeps his prisoners useful. Every minute we waste is a minute closer to losing him for good." The air between them cracked with tension. Cyborg cleared his throat. Look, I get both sides. Goku cut him off. There is no both sides, Goku interrupted, uncharacteristically sharp. This isn't up for debate. Beast Boy's our teammate. We don't leave ours behind. Robin's fist clenched, but before he could argue, Starfire floated between them. Goku is right. But so is Robin. She turned to Goku. We will search in pairs, but we maintain constant comm contact. If anyone finds Slade, they call for backup immediately. No engaging him alone. Goku exhaled, nodding. Fine. But if I see Slade, I'm not waiting. Robin's glare could have melted steel. That's exactly what Batman warned us about. Good thing I don't work for Batman, Goku shot back, already lifting off the ground. Now move fast. With that, the Titans split. Robin's protest swallowed by the wind as Goku scooped up Terra and shot toward the city lights. Time was running out, and Slade was counting on that. Goku and Terra burst into an abandoned warehouse following a tip about suspicious activity. The moment they stepped inside, a hologram of Slade flickered to life. Predictable. As always, the hologram taunted before the room erupted in flames. Goku reacted instantly. He spun, wrapping an arm around Terra and shielding her with his body as the explosion rocked the building. Debris rained down, but Goku powered through it, kicking through a wall and launching them both to safety just as the structure collapsed behind them. Terra coughed, gripping his gi. That was a trap. Goku grinned slightly, dusting himself off. Yeah, no kidding. Before they could regroup, a chain reaction of explosions lit up the surrounding buildings. Windows shattered and alarms blared, and civilians screamed in panic. Goku's eyes narrowed. Slade's not here, and he's distracting us. He tapped his comm. Guys, we've got civilians in trouble, so we're going to stay here to help. But Slade's still out there. Terra was already moving, using her powers to stabilize crumbling structures, as Goku blurred the streets, pulling people from the wreckage. In record-breaking time. The trap had failed, but the real game was just beginning. Robin barely registered the calm chatter of Goku and Terra before a crushing force slammed him into a brick wall, his communicator shattering on the impact. Dazed, he looked up, and there stood Slade, perched on a shipping container at the docks, his single eye gleaming in the moonlight. Oh. Did I wound the little Robin's wing? He mocked, tilting his head. Robin gritted his teeth, reaching for his staff. A searing green starboat screamed through the air, blasting Slade off into the docks and into the churning water below. Starfire landed beside Robin, her eyes flaming. You are unarmed. Robin coughed, nodding. Yeah, thanks. They both turned toward the water, waiting for some type of retaliation. Slade rose from the water with unnatural grace, hovering just above the surface as droplets cascaded off his armor and face. His glowing cybernetic eye locked onto Starfire with eerie fascination. Interesting, he mused, tilting his head. Your starboats are significantly stronger than the doctor's data suggested. That wasn't in your profile. Starfire's fist crackled with emerald energy, her eyes narrowing. You know nothing of my capabilities, Slade. Robin, still gripping his bruised ribs, stiffened. Who the hell is the doctor? Slade ignored him, studying Starfire like a specimen. Truly fascinating. Did you undergo any enhancements, or was this power always lying dormant? Starfire didn't answer, deciding not to mention her power increase from the Tree of Might fruit. Instead, she rocketed toward him with her fists blazing. Slade dodged the inhuman reflexes, but this time her strikes left scorch marks on his armor, something that clearly hadn't happened before. Robin's mind raced. Someone's been compiling data on us. On their powers. And Slade's working with him somehow. The implications were terrifying. Slade blocked another starboat, his armed cannon whirring as it absorbed the impact. No matter, the doctor will adjust his calculations after today. Starfire pressed the attack, forcing Slade backward. You will tell us where Beast Boy is. Slade smirked. Oh, he's safe, for now. His gaze flicked to Robin. But you? You have nothing to offer for his research. And before Robin could react, Slade's wrist launcher fired. Not at Starfire, but at a nearby fuel tank. The explosion forced her to shield Robin. As the fireball from the exploding fuel tank roared outward, Starfire instinctively threw herself right in front of Robin, shielding him from the blast with her own body. The heat seared the air around them, but before she could recover, Slade struck. Sometimes it pays to work smarter, not harder. His voice cut through the smoke. Thwip, thwip, thwip. 3 canisters shattered against Starfire's back, releasing a hissing cloud of sickly green gas. Her eyes widened. She recognized the compound instantly. Xenothium suppressant. Her starbursts flickered, her muscles locking up as the gas seeped into her system. She collapsed mid-hover, her body going limp. Robin's blood ran cold. Star! Slade caught her effortlessly before she hit the ground, slinging her over his shoulder like a trophy. His enhanced armor and cybernetics whirled as his thrusters ignited. Don't worry, Robin, he mocked. She'll be perfectly useful where she's going. No, Robin lunged, his sticks crackling, but he was too slow. Slade rocketed into the sky, Starfire's unconscious form dangling in his grip. Robin's scream of fury echoed across the docks, unanswered. Robin's comm was destroyed and the docks were in flames, and now 2 of the Titans were missing. Slade's voice replayed in his mind. The doctor will adjust his calculations. Whoever this doctor was, he wasn't just collecting data. He was responsible for Slade's upgrades. He had to be. And now he had Starfire. Robin's hand shook, not with fear, but with something colder. With something hotter. Rage. Goku had been mid-rescue when he felt a sharp panic spike in Starfire's energy signature, following by nothing, just silence. His blood turned to ice. Everyone, rally at the docks, now! He barked into the comms before blasting off in a white streak. By the time he arrived, the scene was chaos. The docks were still smoldering, fuel tanks burned in the distance, and Robin stood alone in the wreckage with his fists clenched so tight his gloves strained at the seams. The moment Robin saw Goku, his mask couldn't hide the fury that was within his eyes. I told you, Robin snarled, voice trembling with barely restrained rage, that we shouldn't have split up. But you didn't listen, and now we're down another Titan. Goku's stomach dropped. Slade took her? Who do you think? Robin snapped, kicking a chunk of debris hard enough to send it skidding across the water. Of course it was Slade. He knew exactly how to counter her. Used some kind of gas to knock her out before I could even... He cut himself off, jaw working. Goku stood there, the weight of Robin's words crashing into him like a physical blow. He had been so sure splitting up was the right call, faster and more efficient. But now, Beast Boy was gone, and Starfire was gone too now. And it was his fault. Cyborg and Raven arrived moments later, Terra closed behind them. One look at their faces told Goku everything that he needed to know. They were bothered. We need to regroup, Cyborg said, voice uncharacteristically grim. If Slade's grabbing metas, he's not just going to do this for fun. There has to be an endgame behind all of this. Goku didn't answer. For the first time since joining the Titans, he felt the crushing weight of failure. Not just as a fighter, but as a leader. He gambled and his team paid the price. Robin turned away, his voice hollow. You know, Batman was right. Goku didn't argue, because right now, he didn't know if he could trust his own judgment either anymore. Robin clenched his fists. Slade said Starfire's power didn't match the doctor's data. Someone's been studying us, tracking our abilities. Terra's breath hitched. Her face paled as realization struck. Oh my God. I know where they are. Every head snapped toward her. When I was working for Slade, she continued, voice tight with guilt, he would always mention a scientist. Dr. Gero. Some kind of robotics genius. Slade said he was perfecting the future of warfare for mankind against all types of threats. Raven's eyes narrowed. And you didn't think to mention this sooner. I didn't know he was still around, Terra shot back. Slade told me the project was scrapped after his funding was froze by the government because of his ethics. Cyborg Systems word as he pulled up a holographic map. If Gero's involved, we're dealing with next level tech. Dude was infamous back in my Star Labs days. Brilliant, but unethical. He disappeared years ago after his android research got shut down. Goku had just been silent until now stepped forward. Where's this lab? Terra swallowed hard. Beneath the old steelworks factory. It's a front. The real facility's underground. Robin's eyes burned behind his mask. Then that's where we're going. Hold up, Cyborg interjected. If Jiro's got data on all of us, he's going to have countermeasures. We can't just rush in. Goku's fist clenched. We don't have time for a plan. Every second we waste, Beast Boy and Starfire are in danger. A tense silence fell. Raven was the one who broke it. Then we do both. We move now, or we move smart. Goku met her gaze, then nodded. Fine, let's just hurry. They wouldn't stop until their squad was whole again. The Titans stood atop the abandoned steelworks factory, the rushed metal groaning under their feet. Robin scanned the area, his mind racing through infiltration strategies, stealthy entry, hacking security, disabling alarms. Then Terra smirked. Sometimes, she said, cracking her knuckles, you just have to break things for results. Before anyone could react, she stomped her foot and the ground trembled, then split. A jagged chasm tore open beneath them, concrete and steel screaming as the earth itself peeled apart like paper. The hidden roof of Jiro's lab buckled, then collapsed inward, revealing a sprawling, high-tech facility that was below. Robin stared. Or we could do that. Goku grinned, clapping Terra on the shoulder. See? I knew my advice would come in handy someday. Cyborg whistled as alarms blared below. Well, subtlety's dead. Hope you guys like company. Raven's cloak billowed as she floated at the edge of the fissure. I'm sure they already knew we were coming. Sure enough, a battalion of sleek humanoid drones surged from the exposed lab, their red optics locking onto the Titans. Goku simply cracked his neck. Let's make this quick. And with that, the Titans dropped into the fray. The Titans moved like a well-oiled machine, cutting through Jiro's drone army with ruthless efficiency. Cyborg's sonic cannons sent the first wave flying, their metal frames crumpling like tin cans. Raven's dark energy crushed another group into scrap, while Terra destabilized the ground beneath a cluster of bots, causing them to collapse into a sinkhole that closed up and made twisted wiring out of them. But there were too many. Dozens of more poured from hidden hatches, their red optics glowing ominously in the dim lab light. We don't have time for this, Goku barked, dodging a laser blast. Raven, just shield everyone. Without hesitation, Raven threw her hands forward. A massive dome of black energy encased the Titans, just as the drones unleashed a barrage of plasma fire. Outside the barrier, Goku planted his feet, his hands cupping at his sides as blue energy emanated from his body. The air itself seemed to vibrate as he gathered power, his muscles steaming with the effort. Goku thrust his hands forward. Explosive wave! The explosion of raw ki tore through the remaining drones like some type of blue supernova, reducing them to molten slag in an instant. The shockwave rattled the entire facility, sending sparks raining from the ceiling. Silence fell, save for the distant hum of emergency systems kicking on. Robin wiped soot from his mask. Well, that worked. Goku exhaled, shaking out his wrist. Now, let's find our friends before this Jiro tries something else. The team pressed forward, stepping over the smoldering wreckage. The real fight was still ahead. The Titans surged forward, ready to breach the lab's inner sanctum until the reinforced blast door slid open with a hiss. Slade stood framed in the doorway, his mask absent for the first time, revealing the scarred face of a man who had cheated death so many times. His cybernetic eye glowed crimson through his black eye patch. In the dim light, his mouth set in a cold smirk. You've gone far enough, he said, his voice echoing through the chamber. I'm going to put you all in cells right next to your friends, or at least those of you that are useful. Every Titan tense, battle ready, Cyborg's cannon charge. Raven's dark energy swirled. Terra's fist clenched at her sides as debris began to move. But before they could move, Goku stepped forward, his usual grin replaced by a look of deadly focus. You guys handle the prisoners, he said, never taking his eyes off Slade. I've got this. Robin's head snapped toward him. Goku, we don't have time for solo fights. We don't have time to argue here. Goku shot back. Slade's not just some mercenary anymore. He's upgraded. He's probably one of Dr. Jiro's androids. And if we all fight him at once, people are going to get hurt. His jaws tightened. "And I can't allow that to happen." The weight of his words hung in the air. His failure to protect Beast Boy and Starfire were fresh in his mind. This wasn't just about winning. It was about rescuing the hostages. Slade chuckled, rolling his shoulders. "Confident, aren't you? The doctor's enhancements have made me stronger than you could even imagine." Goku's fist ignited with blue ki. "Yeah, prove it." A beat of silence, then, "Go!" Goku roared. The Titans didn't hesitate. They rushed past Slade, diving deeper into the lab as Goku and the mercenary lunged at each other in a blur of motion. The final battle was about to begin. Goku's first punch should have ended it. His fist rocketed towards Slade's jaw with enough force to shatter steel, but Slade caught it. The impact sent a shockwave rocking through the lab, cracking monitors and sending loose debris skittering across the floor, and Goku's eyes widened. "Surprised?" Slade smirked, his cybernetic eye whirling as if it calculated Goku's next movements. "The doctor's work is revolutionary." Goku didn't answer. He twisted, diving a knee into Slade's ribs, only for the mercenary to pivot, countering with an elbow that sent Goku skidding back 3 feet. The Saiyan's blood buzzed with something he hadn't felt a long time on Earth. Challenge. They collided again, fists and kicks moving faster than the human eye could track. Every strike Goku threw, Slade matched. Every feint, every burst of speed. The mercenary anticipated it, his enhancements bridging the gap between human and superhuman. A roundhouse kick from Goku shattered the support column. Slade retaliated by grabbing a fallen steel beam and swinging it like a bat, forcing Goku to block with crossed arms. The impact cratered the wall behind him. "It seems I'm not the only one who's gotten stronger," Slade taunted, flexing his augmented fingers. "But the real question is, can you adapt as fast as me?" Goku wiped his mouth, grinning despite himself. "Oh, I'm just getting started." The lab trembled as their battle reignited, neither willing to yield, neither holding back. And deep in the facility, the Titans raced against time, the echoes of their leader's fight, reminding them how urgent freeing everyone truly was. Goku's eyes flickered to the trembling ceiling and support beams, groaned as cracks spiderwebbed across the laboratory walls. One more direct hit, and the entire facility could possibly collapse on his team and the prisoners that were below. "Yeah, no thanks," he muttered. In a flash, he ducked under Slade's next punch, grabbed his ankle, and with a grunt, hurled him upward like a missile. The mercenary crashed through 3 layers of reinforced concrete before bursting into the open air, moonlight glinting off his armor. Goku didn't wait. He shot after him in a blue streak, bursting through the roof just as Slade stabilized midair. "Thoughtful," Slade sneered, brushing debris off his shoulder. "But a mistake, because out here, I don't have to hold back either." His wrist cannons unfolded, humming with charged energy. Goku cracked his neck, rolling his shoulders. "Yeah, neither do I." The sky above the steelworkers' factory became their battleground. 2 blurs of motion, clashing with enough force to send shockwaves rippling across all of Jump City. Below, the Titans pressed forward, the tremors from above a constant reminder. Their leader was buying them some time. The 2 warriors broke apart, skidding to a halt atop neighboring factory rooftops. The night air hummed with residual energy as Slade reached over his shoulder, fingers curling around the hilt of one of his twin swords that were on his back, and with a metallic shing, the blade slid free, its edge glinting coldly under the pale moonlight. "Enough games," Slade growled, his voice now carrying a mechanical edge. His cybernetic eye became visible as he removed his eye patch. It pulsed red as systems activated across his armor. "You no longer face Slade anymore. You face the Red Ribbon Division's finest model, Deathstroke." Goku's eyes narrowed. The name meant nothing to him, but the sudden shift in Slade's presence was undeniable. The mercenary's stance was tighter, deadlier, his movements now synchronized with the faint whir of hidden machinery that was beneath his skin. "Weapon upgrades, huh?" Goku smirked, rolling his shoulders. "I guess that means I have to go all out." Deathstroke didn't even respond. Instead, he moved faster than before, his blade carving through the air in a silver arc aimed straight for Goku's throat. Goku barely dodged, feeling the wind of the slash against his skin. This wasn't just a fight anymore. It was a death battle. The Titans moved swiftly through the sterile white corridors of Jiro's labs, their footsteps echoing against the cold metal floors. Raven's dark energy pulsed as she ripped open sealed containment pods one by one, freeing disoriented metahumans and aliens alike who gasped for air. Cyborg's optics scanned each face, his jaws tightening with an unfamiliar one. No sign of Beast Boy or Starfire yet, he muttered, helping a trembling young woman with glowing purple veins to her feet. Robin's eskrima sticks crackled as he disabled security turrets. He wouldn't keep them with the others. Slade isolated them on purpose. Terra's hands trembled as she forced open another pod, her voice barely above a whisper. Then that means we go deeper. A sudden thud reverberated through the facility. Goku and Deathstroke's battle, shaking the very foundations below. Dust rained from the ceiling as Raven steadied herself against the wall. I think we're running out of time, she warned. Cyborg's HUD flared to life, mapping the facility's schematics. There's a high security wing below us. If they're anywhere, it's there. Without another word, the Titans charged forward, their resolve hardening with every step. Somewhere in the depths of this nightmare, their comrades were waiting, and nothing, not steel, science experiments, or Slade himself, was going to stop them from freeing them. Goku launched a searing blue ki blast straight at Deathstroke, only for the mercenary to twist his blade in a lightning-fast arc. The sword split the energy wave clean in half, with the two halves dissipating harmlessly into the night sky, leaving nothing but blue light particles. What the? Goku barely had time to process before Deathstroke was already moving forward again. The android enhanced warrior lunged, his armored boot slamming into Goku's ribs with enough force to send him rocketing back down through the shattered factory roof. Goku crashed through multiple floors of the lab, steel and concrete exploding around him before he finally skidded to a stop, to a ruined test chamber. Dust swirled as Goku coughed, pushing himself up. His gi was beginning to be torn. His muscles were aching from the impact, and he wiped his mouth, staring up at the hole he had just made. Okay, that's new. Deathstroke descended slowly through the wreckage, his sword gleaming. Disappointed, huh? He taunted. The doctor engineered this alloy to withstand energy attacks, so your blast will be useless. Goku grinned, cracking his knuckles. Good thing I'm more than just blasts. He shot upward, fist ready, because if his blast didn't work, then he'd just have to get more creative. The underground lab was in ruins around them, sparks raining from shattered consoles as Goku and Deathstroke circled each other. Blood dripped from shallow cuts along Goku's arms and torso. Each one was a testament of Slade's lethal precision with the blade, but the Saiyan's grin never wavered. Then Slade overextended, a fraction of an opening, a split-second mistake. Goku seized it, his hand shot out, twisting Slade's wrist with brutal efficiency before wrenching the sword free. The blade clattered to the ground, but Slade didn't hesitate. In another fluid motion, he drew his second katana, its edge humming with faint vibration. Goku scooped up the fallen sword, twirling it experimentally before settling into a stance that made Slade's cyber eye narrow in recognition. You should know, Goku said, his voice uncharacteristically cold. I was trained by Raj Al Ghul himself when I was younger. A beat of silence, then clang. Their swords met in a shower of sparks, the force of collision shaking the room. Slade's mechanical eye whirred, recalculating. You're full of surprises, he admitted, pushing back. I, too, was a student of the League of Assassins, before they deemed me unworthy. Goku didn't respond. He didn't need to. Every parry, every counter-strike was a brutal reminder of what Roz had taught him in combat. He taught him to dismantle, and for the first time since the battle began, Slade realized that he might be outmatched. Steel shrieked as their swords clashed again and again, sending sparks erupting like fireworks in the ruined lab. Goku and Deathstroke became blurs of motion, ricocheting off walls, flipping over shattered machinery. their blades carving glowing after images through smoke-filled air. Every impact sent tremors through the facility. Support beams were groaning as the two warriors used them as springboards, kicking off of the north force to dent the metal. A stray slash bisected a computer bank, sending molten wiring spraying. Another gouged a 5-foot trench across the floor. Slade's mechanical eye tracked Goku's movements with inhuman precision. But the Saiyan was adapting, mixing Ra's al Ghul's lethal swordsmanship with his own unpredictable brawling style. He ducked under a decapitating strike, rolling across a console and sprang off the ceiling to deliver a downward slash that forced Slade to block with both of his hands on the hilt. "You fight like a violent storm," Slade gritted out. "Funny," Goku shot back, flipping away as Slade's counter-strike split the ground where he stood. "Talia used to tell me the same thing." They lunged simultaneously, blades meeting mid-air with a clang that shattered the remaining glass that was in the room. Somewhere below, the Titans froze as the entire structure shuddered. "We need to move faster," Robin hissed, because above them, two monsters were tearing the lab apart. Cyborg's fingers flew across the lab's central console, his cybernetic interface overriding security protocols. "I can trigger a mass release of the stasis pods except for two," he growled. "Those two have to be Starfire and Beast Boy cells. They must be manually locked. Slade must have flagged them as manual on purpose." Robin didn't hesitate. "I'll go get Starfire." Terra's hands clenched. "Yeah, and I'll go get after Beast Boy." The facility trembled violently as another shockwave from Goku and Slade's battle rocketed the foundations. Raven's eyes glowed as she spread her arms, dark energy surging from her fingertips. "I'll reinforce this entire structure. But hurry, I won't be able to hold it forever." With the final keystroke, Cyborg initiated the emergency release. Dozens of pods hissed open across the lab, freed captives gasping as they stumbled out. "Go," he barked. "I'll guide the civilians out and keep comms open." Robin sprinted down the east corridor, following Cyborg's coordinates to Starfire's containment unit. Terra bolted west, her heart pounding as she navigated the maze corridors towards Beast Boy's known location. Above them, Raven levitated with her cloak billowing as she channeled her magic. Cracks in the walls sealed with inky tendrils and shadows, groaning metal beams froze mid-collapse. Sweat beaded on her brow, every second stretched her limits further. "Robin, you're 20 meters from Starfire's pod," Cyborg crackled in their earpieces. "Terra, Beast Boy's cell is at the end of the northwest hall, but there's heavy security." Terra skidded forward a corner just as 3 gun turrets unfolded from the ceiling. She barely had time to raise an earthen shield before they opened fire. Time was running out, but they were determined to succeed. Goku pressed forward, his sword strikes driving Slade toward the ruined wall of the lab. The mercenary armor was getting more and more dented. His movements were slowing. Victory was within reach. Then Slade smirked. "Jiro didn't just choose me for my strength," he rasped, his cybernetic eye flashing red. "He also chose me for my tactics." With the sharp hiss, canisters embedded in his gauntlets detonated, flooding the room with thick metallic gray smoke. Goku's senses recoiled, his key senses useless against an android. He wouldn't be able to sense any android. His vision reduced to a swirling gray. Crap. He braced, sword raised, listening for the faintest sound, a scrape of a boot against debris, the whisper of a blade cutting air, and clang! Goku barely parried in time, the force of Slade's surprise strike knocking him back. Another slash came from his blind spot, slashing him across the shoulder. Goku gritted his teeth, swinging wide to force space between them. "You rely too much on your senses, Goku," Slade's voice echoed, directionless in the haze. "Let's see if you can adapt to this assault before you die." Goku exhaled, centering himself. If he couldn't see or sense Slade, how would he counter in time? He closed his eyes and began to think. The smoke swirled thick around Goku, but his mind was clear. He focused on the memory of one of Ra's al Ghul's final lessons. "A blade is just a tool," the demon's head had said, his voice echoing through the ancient training halls of Nanda Parbat. The true weapon is the warrior himself. Steel can break, flesh can heal, and the will to strike creates the living warrior. For a man's will is what separates the living from the dead. Goku's hands loosed around the sword hilt. Clang! The blade hit the ground. Slade's strike came like a viper, silent, lethal, aiming to cleave Goku from shoulder to hip. But the moment the sword entered Goku's space, his ki erupted. A shockwave of blue energy burst outward, shredding the smoke like paper. The sudden wind revealed Slade mid-swing, his single eye widening in the split second before Goku's palms clapped together, trapping the blade between them. And then, snap! The reinforced alloy shattered like glass. Before Slade could react, Goku spun the broken blade in his grip and rammed it forward. Not at Slade's heart, not at his throat, but straight into the central power node of his cybernetic chest plate. Zzz. Sparks exploded as the metal pierced whirled. Slade gasped, his system short-circuiting. Before Goku's follow-up kick launched him across the room, the mercenary cratered into the far wall, armor spitting erratic pulses of red light. As sparks escaped it, and debris began to fall on top of him, Goku exhaled, rolling his shoulders. I guess you did have an off switch. Slade twitched, his human eye burning with fury, but his limbs refused to respond. The fight appeared to be over, and somewhere in the depths of the collapsing lab, the Titan's comms cracked with Cyborg's voice. Got him. Everyone move. This place is coming down. We'll meet you outside, Goku. Goku turned toward the sound. Guess it's time to go home. Goku stepped out of the crumbling facility, grinning as he saw his team. Starfire and Beast Boy, freed, the rescued subjects being tended to by Cyborg and Raven, the dawn light painting the sky in soft hues. The nightmare seemed to be finally over. Now we can all go home, he said, relief warming his voice. But Terra's sharp gasp cut through the moment. Her eyes locked onto a flicker of movement, a glint of metal in the rubble. Slade's remaining functional arm, holding his remaining sword, heading straight for Goku's back. And Goku couldn't sense it. There was no time to shout, no time to warn. So Terra moved. She lunged in front of Goku, just as metal was about to meet flesh. The world seemed to freeze. One moment Goku was standing victorious, his team safe, the dawn breaking over the ruins of Jiro's lab. The next, Terra was gasping as her body went rigid as Slade's signature sword erupted from her chest, revealing a spray of crimson. Time slowed. Beast Boy's scream was raw, inhuman. Terra! Starfire's hands flew to her mouth. Cyborg systems blared alarms. Raven's magic flickered like a dying flame. And Goku, he moved. Terra collapsed backward, but Goku caught her before she hit the ground. His arms trembling as her blood seeped into his torn gi. Her breath came in wet. Shallow gasp, her blue eyes wide with shock. Why? Goku's voice was a broken thing. His usual confidence shattered. Why would you? Terra coughed, staining her lips red. You gave me a second chance, she whispered. Had to pay it forward. Behind them, Slade's broken form chuckled when Terra's fingers went slack and Goku's gripped. And Goku's rage ignited. The ground beneath him cracked, his white aura exploding outward in a maelstrom of raw power. The sky darkened, the very air vibrating as screams of grief shook the ruins. Goku, Robin shouted, but it was too late. The rational Saiyan was gone. Only vengeance was in his eyes. Terra's body went limp in Goku's arms. Her final breath escaping. Terra's body went limp in Goku's arms, her final breath escaping in a whisper. The world seemed to hold its breath until Slade's broken, staticky laughter cackled through the ruins. You know, Slade wheezed, his cybernetics sparking. I really wanted to kill the leader, but I'll settle for the traitor as a good replacement. Goku's hands trembled, and then they stopped. A terrible stillness settled over him. Slowly, he laid Terra down, closed her eyes with a gentleness that bellied the storm that was inside him. When he stood, his back to the Titans, the air itself seemed to warp around him. Goku, Robin started, stepping forward. It's over. He's done. I know this is hard, but the League will lock him away for good. Slade mocked them. I'll just get out, and then I'll get better upgrades afterwards, and then I'll kill some more of you. And Goku glared at the villain. His footsteps caused debris to rise as he walked towards Slade. Each one measured, deliberate. His aura wasn't dark anymore. It was a raging blue, a swirling void of rage, cerulean rage, so deep it choked the moonlight from the sky. Slade, even half crushed and broken, felt it. The smugness drained from his face slightly as his sensors picked up on this energy spike. You. Goku's hand snapped, gripping Slade's throat and lifting him off the ground. The mercenary gagged, his remaining cybernetic arms scrabbling uselessly at Goku's iron grip. Goku, stop! Cyborg yelled. This isn't you. But it was. This was the part of him he'd locked away since when he had slain King Piccolo. The part Raj Al Ghul had tried to hone. The part that he told him he had within him. The part that understood that some men did not deserve mercy. Slade's eyes bulged, his kicks growing weaker. You don't have the guts, he choked out. Goku dropped Slade to the floor, and it seemed that he was right. It seemed that he was spared. Until Goku's other hand ignited with blue ki, the energy hissing like a live wire. The Titans lunged, but they were too late. The blast lit up the area like a dying star, and when the light faded, Slade was gone. Not arrested, not imprisoned. Vaporized. And so was the laboratory that Jiro had as well. And Goku spoke to no one in particular. Yeah, no more upgrades for you. Then Goku stood amid the ashes, his fists smoking, his eyes were empty of any type of regret. The silence that followed was deafening. The smell of ionized air and charred metal clung to the air as the Titans stood frozen from what they just witnessed, staring at the smoldering crater where Slade had once been. Goku's back remained turned to them. His shoulders were rigid, his fists still clenched at his sides. The whitish blue aura that usually radiated warmth and energy was just gone, replaced by a hollow stillness that felt more terrifying than any of his outbursts. Robin was the first to break the silence. His voice was raw and emotional, torn between fury, disbelief, and remorse. I know what Slade did was evil. I know he deserved to pay. But he was defeated. Goku, we were supposed to take him in. We were supposed to be better than him. His shout echoed across the battlefield, but Goku didn't flinch. For a long moment there was no response. Then quietly Goku spoke. Not to Robin, not to the team, but to the wind. I should have done it sooner. His voice was eerily calm, devoid of its usual energy. If I had, Terra would still be here. Finally, he turned to face them, his eyes usually so full of fiery determination. They were dark and empty. The weight of his words settled over the group like a physical blow. You know, I never wanted to be a hero, he admitted, his gaze drifting over each of them. Starfire, her eyes glistening with unushed tears. Cyborg's jaw was tight with conflict, and Beast Boy was streaked with grief, distraught at everything that had just happened. Raven, her usual stoicism cracked with a deeper frown, and Robin stood rigid, his fist trembling at his sides. And Goku continued, Yeah, I never wanted to be a leader either, but I did like the friends I made along the way. He exhaled, long and slow, as if letting go of something that was precious to him. But now, I could see clearly. I don't want to be a hero, and I never really wanted to be in the beginning. And I don't want to be a Titan. And I don't want to join a league. Beast Boy's breath hitched. Goku. But I do need to get stronger. Goku continued, cutting him off. Strong enough so that nothing like this will ever happen again. And with that, he turned away, with his face fixed toward the sky. Wait! Starfire reached out, but it was too late. Goku's knees bent slightly, his aura flickered once, showing a fading blue before he launched into the sky with a thunderous boom. The force of his takeoff sent dust and debris scattering, forcing the Titans to shield their eyes. And by the time they looked up, he was already a speck in the distance. Then nothing. No dramatic farewell, no lingering words, just an empty sky where their leader, their friend, had once been. Robin's hand slowly unclenched. He's gone. Cyborg Systems whirred softly, as if scanning for a signal that was no longer there. Yeah. Beast Boy sank to his knees beside Terra's body, his fingers brushing her hair from her face. What do we do now? No one had an answer. And that's where I'm going to end it, man. I hope you guys liked it, man. You know, I had to end on a dark ending. I had to make Goku leave. This is his departure from the Teen Titans. As you all know, our boy Goku never really wanted to be a hero. So comment down below what you guys think of this. Like, subscribe, all that, man. Till next time, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Peace.